Hi guys, and welcome back to another video where today we're not going to be predicting the scores of the Premier League. We're actually going to answer your questions I've put out all week. Last video as well. For your questions, we're going to do the best to answer them. But before we get into this Q&A, let's have a quick look back at how well we did do in last week's predictions, which was week 4.
So last week had a fairly average week. I had 6 points with no perfect results, so 6 out of 10 on the result wise, not that bad.
Yeah, and I had exactly the same as you, Nathan. I also had 6 points, no perfect scores. Representing the viewers last week was SG Minor 21, and SG Minor came away with 7 points with 1 perfect score, which was the Southampton 2-0 victory over West Brom. But of course, last week there were a lot of bizarre results. That Aston Villa 7-2 victory over Liverpool, and that Manchester United at home defeat versus Spurs. Also West Ham beaten Leicester, who were in fine form themselves, 3-0. But let's have a quick look at the overall standings for the predictions. And as you see, Philip Alex is on top of the table, along with David Redgrift, who have both got 33 points. Top scorer of the week last week was LFC 96 YNWA, and he or she is on 29 points overall, but had a magnificent score of 13 points.
Very good.
Nathan, you've crept up slightly up to 24th with 23 points overall, and I've crept up to 29th with those 22 points overall. And SG Minor representing the viewers last week. Okay, that was his third prediction week, but SG Minor now on 17 points. But see if you can spot yourself in the table as I scroll down fairly slowly. That's enough of the scores from last week's predictions. We'll probably go a little bit more in depth on those results in next week's video. But yeah, let's just get straight into it and answer your questions.
Okay, so first up we got a question from Lewis Willard, and he is asking, will you be interested in doing some tier listed videos, popular on YouTube of course, throughout the season to avoid the monotony of the Premier League predictions? One example of original idea that I've not seen people do is ranking Premier League teams' training facilities. Good idea, that academy status. Love your content, many thanks, Louis. Greatly appreciated, mate. Brighton and Hove Albion fan.
So are you going to be doing tier lists on your channel?
I'm going to try to get around to it at some point if I have the time. I'd like to do it. I did do that away home kit ranking for the Championship. I want to do it for the Premier League as well, and also the away kits. Hopefully tiered list videos will come soon, and if I can get my hands on a new Elgato at some point, I'd really like to do some new FIFA content because, well, I've got the original one, the original Elgato, and they've gone out of support that you can't stream on them because of the massive delay, and I need to change it before I can upload FIFA content. But yeah, tier list would definitely be something I could consider, but on this channel in particular, would we be seeing them?
We may well do, yeah, the international breaks rather than doing a Q&A, which we're doing at the moment. Maybe I could have done a tier list, possibly, I don't know, on top 10 Spanish players who've played in the Premier League, something like that. Drop something in the comments on what tier lists you'd like to see, maybe favourite films or best gangster films, or all that sort of thing. But
what we could also do as well is we could do it in intervals. So one international break we do a Q&A, and then the next one we do free tier lists. Or
good idea. Anyway, next question comes from George Covi Smith, which is I think he's a West Ham fan. Would you do prizes for weekly prediction winners? Now, that is something I've actually thought about.
We've actually done it one in the past.
We have. I think it might have been a couple of seasons ago, but I think on that one, for something like, I think 1,000 subscribers, I think it was a draw on that week, and we actually had to draw out of a hat to see who actually won the prize that week. But when I tried to get the prize to them, I was getting no answer, and they didn't actually want to receive it. So it was a bit of a nightmare actually getting the prizes out to them. Maybe we could have a system in that if you want to opt in to winning prizes, then at the beginning of the season, I'll opt in to winning prizes. But I think we'd have to look at possibly memberships for
that's something really been considering.
Yeah, so maybe if you're a member, you can win weekly prizes. Say the top predictor of the week could win, I don't know, a £5 or a £10 Amazon gift voucher. Maybe it could be a monthly prize, or even a season prize, i.e. the winner wins £100 or something, but it's something to consider anyway.
But saying that, not only that as well, with the memberships, we're actually going to do a poll on the community posts this week asking if you guys want a membership, or if you guys want a membership system, and in the comments as well, we'd like what sort of tiers you want, what sort of perks you want, really, perks as well, and how much you would be willing to pay, and
also what additional content you'd want on that membership side of the channel.
Exactly, yeah. So be sure to vote on that in the comments, guys. Now, next up we have a question from Rochelle, and this one is going to be funny for you especially. What is the age of you guys? Go ahead.
Go on, Nathan, you go first.
I'm 18.
Excellent. Well, let's just say I'm the wrong side of 40. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on from that one. Ben the Soccer Kid asks, England or Scotland, Nathan?
Scotland.
And why?
Well, because I'm Welsh. Of course, it's got to be
Scotland. Yeah, and for me, I'd go for Scotland on football side of things. Wales are playing England, of course, Thursday evening.
Live stream on my channel tomorrow, of course.
Well, whether this video gets out tonight, I don't know. So it might be after the Lord Mayor's Parade. But England or Scotland. I love going to England for, we've been there many times on sort of staycations, you could say. But I will go footballing-wise Scotland.
And next up, we have a question from friend of the channel. Remember to go subscribe to him, the Dugout Football channel, of course. Do you think Everton need to replace Jordan Pickford if they want to get top 6? You can go first on this one, because I have strong views about it.
Well, he is England's number one, or perceived to be England number one. Against Wales, I think Pope is probably going to be in goals. He may have already played in goals if this video isn't out in time. But good keeper. However, he has been calamitous this calendar year. He needs to basically improve, to cut all out those silly mistakes. It could cost him a top 6 place, Doug. But maybe if they get somebody who is a lot more commanding of their area, then it could cement them in that top 6. Although if someone like Rodriguez gets injured for a long period of time, then they could slip out the top 6. I think they're top of the league at the moment. But I know Richarlison's injured. I think Coleman as well. So
injured,
they are suffering a few injuries. New signing Allen is out, so they've got a few injuries mounting up. And I know they coped well with it last weekend in their victory over Crystal Palace. So if they get any more, then along with Pickford, then maybe they'll start to slide down the table a little bit. But it's time will tell.
Yeah, with my opinion on this, I think definitely yes. And with the way that Everton have been spending money recently, and Ancelotti as well, I really think he's going to be replaced in January, and he's going to be coming off the bench.
And who do you think will replace him?
I'm not sure, but I think they should go for Alban Lafon. I believe he plays for Fiorentina.
Right. Okay.
Great young goalkeeper, and I think he's going to be a real force. And he's within Everton's budget as well. But with Pickford, ever since the World Cup in 2018, he's been calamitous. I mean, you had the Liverpool game.
He does make some good sides, but he does do it
a lot.
He's got a big mistake in him as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, which for a top 6 club, I just don't think is worth it. So, I don't think he's going to be Everton number 1 for much longer, and I don't think he's going to be England number 1 either.
Okay. Also from Doug, another question from the Dugout Football channel is, who do you think will be the first sacking of the season?
It had to be in there, guys. We always discuss this. I've actually got 4 names noted.
Okay.
Roy's there. Even though Palace have had a good start to the season, they had a little boost, but could be where they drop off and start to tumble down the table. David Moyes as well. Yes, West Ham have been playing better recently, but
he hasn't been there.
No, they might not be playing for him. You never know. But yeah, Moyes was definitely on my list at the start of the season. Scott Parker looks very dangerous as well. No one can seem to do anything with Fulham really. It's just their defence yet again. And then my fourth one. Gotta be Solskjaer in there as well. Cardiff reject, you know the business. Terrible manager, doesn't know how to. He's just the defence of Man United. Terrible. I got a feeling he's going to lose the dressing room at some point, and he's going to stay in the bottom half of the Prem until he's replaced. Another name as well, Bilic. Good manager, but I don't know if West Brom start to do Derby County levels, then we could maybe see him going.
Yeah. Okay. Two exactly the same as you, Nathan. I got two names: Scott Parker. Currently bottom of the table. They've played their 4 matches, losing all 4. They've scored only 3 goals and let in 11, which is the second worst in the league after West Brom.
And Man United and Liverpool as well.
Yeah, well, Liverpool have got 11, conceded 11. Man United 11, Brighton 10, but West Brom 13, the worst with 13. But Ollie as well, terrible start of the season. They are in 16th position. Okay, they've only played 3 matches, but they could have lost that game against Brighton as well. And imagine them on 0 points after 3 games. Okay, going forward they look okay, but defensively all over the shop at the moment. So thank you for those 2 questions, Douglas. Next up we got Emmanuel Elias, and Emmanuel asks, what team do you support?
Well, there's your clue.
Cardiff, well done. And Danny Bear as well.
Adding on from it.
Why are you a Cardiff fan?
Well, as good old First Minister Mark Drakeford says, we support our local club, as he always says. And there's no other way of doing it. And when I mean local club, they are our nearest football league club. So
yeah, well, I was actually born around about a mile away from the old stadium, or the new stadium even, Ninian Park. I was taken to Cardiff when I was about 8 or 9.
Same as well,
kicking and screaming. On the terraces back then. Very intimidating place, Ninian Park. Fantastic atmosphere.
Still miss the stadium.
And after a couple of games and just seeing it and being there in awe and under the lights as well, because you had these big pylons of the floodlights and everything, and the pitch and the singing, the chanting, everything, just fell in love with the place. A lot of people in school at the time, they were following the likes of Liverpool, Man United, all these top League 1 or Division 1 teams as it was at the time. But there was a few of us in school who did follow and go and watch Cardiff City, and the atmosphere, just going to away matches, there's nothing like it. Senior local team, went down to the 4th division, and even
you've seen thick and thin, haven't you?
Back in those days. But when you get to cup finals and things like that, then those successes mean a lot more to somebody who's I got nothing against armchair supporters, but if you're there, well, we're all armchair supporters.
We are now anyway.
In these times, but I think it runs a lot deeper for somebody who go in there and who's been there thick and thin through those bad times, through the good times. I'm proud to be a Cardiff City fan.
Same here. It's like weird because I wasn't actually born in Cardiff, and saying that, even going in my old school, most of them, there were more Swansea fans than Cardiff fans, which is
crazy for this area.
It's crazy, bearing in mind that we're from this side of Port Talbot, which is just not seen around here. It could just be from the area, and
I think
lots of people moving down.
It's that, but of course Swansea as well. Their success in the Premier League, and what happens with kids, they look for success.
But then there was a lot of armchair supporters as well. You do have the odd Cardiff fan, like I've done, like you may have spotted a few of them in my videos. But it's just that sort of thing, and I'd say even post 92 it's gone a lot more for armchair fans, and a lot less people supporting your local, and especially in these times now, people need to be doing it more.
Talking about Cardiff, Nathan, Zach Zeda, hopefully I've pronounced that correctly. Zach, best Cardiff you've been to? Mine's Leicester playoff semi-final. That's what Zach says. What's yours, Nathan?
Well, we've been to quite a few.
Yeah.
There's been, especially the recent ones. I was even going to go out on a whim and say a few at Ninian, but in the last 10 years, there's been some absolute crackers that we've been to. Cardiff Liverpool up there.
Yeah, Carling Cup final.
Definitely. Cardiff Blackpool is definitely not in there, just with the way it ended. God, I hate you, Charlie Adam. Reading in the 2018-19 season. No, Reading in the 2017-18 season, just because of we got promoted on that day.
It wasn't the best
Fulham
of games.
Bottled it. Wasn't the best of games, but the atmosphere was unreal. You've seen the vlogs on my channel. Meeting in Canton, smoke bombs everywhere, walking through the streets of Cardiff to the stadium. Unreal. Pitch invasion. Fans going mental when Birmingham put 3 past Fulham. The look on Gary Monk's face as well when he realised that what he did put us up in the Premier League. That was fantastic. And then as for Premier League games, I could put Cardiff Man City, but it wasn't Cardiff playing, obviously. It was the wrong Cardiff playing.
Cardiff only in name, was it?
Cardiff only in name indeed, but the true Cardiff in the Premier League, it's got to be Wolves at home.
Yeah.
That was unreal. Hoyle at Worldy. Oh, it was insane.
Superb.
Especially with the antics beforehand with the 2 missed penalties and all that.
Well, that was the previous season.
Yeah, that was the previous season.
Yeah, that's right.
Which sort of handed Wolves the title at the time, but yeah, when that Hoyle goal went in, it was just revenge, and the whole stadium, the roof just blew off that game.
Okay, one of my favourites, like that Liverpool Cardiff final at Wembley, where Liverpool won on penalties. Just the image of Ben Turner stripping his shirt off and then twirling it around his head in front of the Cardiff
we were
end.
like in row 4 as well, and we were at the we were in the north end as well, where the tunnel
Right in line.
came straight over right by us.
Yeah.
Oh, it was phenomenal.
And then I've had to say that the whole of the 1992-93 season, the Eddie May sort of promotion, the promotion-winning season, and in the same year, I think we won the Welsh Cup, which meant we qualified then for European Cup Winners' Cup competition the following season. But the whole season going home and away, absolutely phenomenal.
If this video gets 100 likes, then we are ending your phobia of doing northern trips on a Tuesday night. It is happening.
Yeah, we'll see. We've got
100
work
likes,
the
guys.
next day. Yeah. But possibly my favourite game of all time for Cardiff was Cardiff City versus Leeds in the FA Cup, 6th of January 2002. Cardiff went down 1-0 for a Mark Viduka goal, and then Cardiff came back in with it. Graham Kavanagh free kick, make it 1-1, and then Scott Young in the dying minutes of the game. I was behind the goal in the Grange end, limbs everywhere to make it 2-1. Absolutely phenomenal. That game had everything. Okay, pitch invasion and it all went a little bit pear-shaped at the end, but the atmosphere, the game itself, absolutely phenomenal. Never ever forget that match.
Next up, we have a question as well from Ferris77, and he is asking us, what do you say about Kufal? What do you say about Kufal transfer to West Ham? I'm from Czech Republic. Hello from Czech Republic, by the way. And I think that Slavia has got more players for Premier League, like Petr I can't even pronounce it. Sevcik. 2 goals against Chelsea in the Europa League. I do remember that, indeed. Or the fantastic goalkeeper, Andre Collar. Maybe he could sign for Everton at some point. Good replacement for Jordan Pickford, I reckon that. Clean sheet on the Camp Nou and more. Thanks for answer. Yeah, I mean, filling in the boots of Petr Cech, of course, now that he's retired and he's upstairs in Chelsea. But yeah, Kufal to West Ham. Quality signing, probably the best one they've made, even though West Ham, with all the issues with the board and everything, yeah, in a way you've got to be happy with it, but then again, with the way things are at West Ham, you can't exactly be too happy either. But yeah, some of the Czech players coming through are looking really promising, and I can't wait to see a few more in the Premier League if it does happen.
Yeah, Kufal made his debut in that 3-0 away victory against Leicester in week 4, slotted in at right back, played really well, strong, physical, good going forward, slotted in there really well. I know he's played in Champions League before and Europa League, so he comes with a little bit of pedigree, but I think he actually, quite a few West Ham fans were saying he was man of the match in that victory. Clean sheet for the second week on the trot. So yeah, looking forward to see him in the coming weeks there, Ferris. Next we've got From Kyle Brimage. What's your opinion on religion? Well, I say each to their own. It's up to the individual.
Yeah,
if you're into that sort of thing, then yeah, that is fine. If you're not, that's fine too. So I think we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Next up, we got a question from Matthew Medley, who's asking, just wondered if you both played for a football team. If so, to what level and what positions did you play? I used to play a long time ago for a team. Didn't play for really that long though. But yeah, I used to play for like sort of a centre mid-ish role, maybe on the wing sometimes, but go on, what do you play then?
Yeah, well, I played junior football and then I moved up to senior football. I was playing with men at the age of 16 and that was quite tough. Parks football, that was played in at a club that eventually got to the Welsh League, so went up from the Parks through the amateur leagues in the Welsh League. When I was 21, suffered a massive injury, broken leg, and I was actually out for 6 seasons, so that pretty much paid to my career. I did come back, but I lost all my pace and everything then. I started off as I got a bit of a utility player. My preferred position was winger, although I could play at fullback as well, but I did play up front. I could play on the left, play on the right, like the old song says. But eventually I found myself...
You did end up morphing into sort of a centre-back, didn't you, though?
No, I morphed into a holding midfielder in the end once I left my original club to play in the Cardiff leagues. So sort of deep lying centre midfield, and once I retired, then I moved on to 6-a-side and 5-a-side, and were quite successful in those years I was playing in the Cardiff sort of leisure leagues and those outdoor arenas. But next question is from Nathan Hever, and Nathan asks, what's your top 10 goals of the season so far?
Oh, that's quite hard to say, but personally, my top one this season, it's got to be Bissouma for Brighton when he scored. I believe it was against Everton or Newcastle. It was against Everton, coming off a volley. Oh, it was absolutely fantastic. Yes, they did end up losing 4-2, but yeah, it was an absolute beauty of a goal. Yeah,
I agree. Bissouma goal, absolutely fantastic. I think Mahrez of volley into...
That was lovely.
With it on his wrong foot was superb. Jack Harrison's goal against Liverpool, also amazing. Defence. He absolutely terrorised Alexander-Arnold, going down the left-hand side, cutting inside and slotting the ball away.
But to be fair, Alec Trent isn't exactly
great going forward, suspecting
going back. Maybe better as a winger, I'd say.
Especially after the result against Villa as well, where he was embarrassed.
He's been saying it for seasons about Trent with his defensive work.
Reece James's goal for Chelsea against Brighton, absolute rocket into the top corner for that was quality. But that Mahrez goal and James Maddison's goal in the same fixture against Manchester City, Maddison's goal, it's got to be my favourite goal of the season so far. Next, Ant A asks, what are your thoughts on the current round of international fixtures, players jetting off around the world with a second wave of, won't say the word, on the way seems crazy to me. So what's your thoughts on these international fixtures that are coming up, Nathan?
Well, I can sort of see where you're coming from, to be honest, mate, but the thing is about it, they have to be played, because otherwise when all this is over, and this could be going on for ages, we're going to have just a massive backlog of international fixtures. It's not going to be fair on the players. It's not going to be fair in the summer as well, when they're meant to be having their summer break, bearing in mind they didn't exactly have much of one this year. They had a week or two off, and they were mainly recuperating after the season in this country for like 2 weeks. But yeah, I can see where you're saying it's crazy, but I can't see any other choice but to be playing them. I mean, they are behind closed doors, they are sort of staying in bubbles, they're continually being tested and isolated and all that, so yeah, I can't see any other way around it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. You can kind of see the issues there. I know that the 3 Scottish players, I think it's Stuart Armstrong who's tested positive, but Kieran Tierney has had to isolate for 14 days, and Ryan Christie as well, and it's really unfortunate on those players, because they've been tested negative, and now they've got to isolate for 14 days, which is absolutely absurd. You may disagree with that, and that is fine, but I really think these fixtures have got to take place. The calendar, we started the season late anyway. Maybe the international fixtures, maybe this whole sort of League of Nations tournament shouldn't actually be there, but it was brought in to bring in competition instead of friendly matches. So, but at this time, okay, we're jetting off around Europe, but we've just got to get through it now.
Just got to get on with it.
Yeah, just get on with it and get these matches played. I know it is going to be tough on the likes of Scotland and other teams who are going to be suffering with players pulling out, but just get on with it. Next we got the Anfield Hub, and Anfield Hub asks, what's your thoughts on Thomas Partey from Atletico Madrid signing for Arsenal?
Fantastic signing. Computer. Yeah, fantastic signing, but with it, I mean, how on earth did Arsenal do it? Good price as well, but at the end of the day, it just goes to show that if you put a release clause on a contract, especially with Atletico Madrid, you've got to be sensible when you're doing it, because if you really don't think they're going to leave and you put a moderate release clause on it like they did and then end up not realising it, then you're going to pay the price if they really start to be playing well, and then Arsenal have the opportunity to activate the release clause and allow them to come to your club. It's happened with the likes of Neymar, I believe, in the past, and countless others where teams are just not careful when it comes to a release clause.
Yeah, he looks a fantastic player, an absolute destroyer in the middle of the park, strong, athletic. He carries the ball really well. He's just not like a tackler and everything. Carries the ball. He's got when he does get the passes, I've noticed his statistics, rather than passing sideways and backwards and all this, just keeping the ball. He always looks to, or a lot of the time, he looks to pass forward. So that's going to be really good for Arsenal. A lot of Arsenal fans are really excited. The ones I know really excited on this signing. Is he they're thinking he's just what they need since Vieira? Has there been anybody as good as him? You know, he's in that sort of mould in a way. I'm really looking forward to seeing him in the Premier League. Looks a great player. I don't think he scores an awful lot of goals, but he'll sort of be that sort of all-round midfielder, you could say, from what I've seen of him playing for Atletico Madrid. Yeah, good signing. Next we've got Matt, CCFC, Cardiff City fan. What's been the best Premier League season?
I've actually gone for 3 here, and they've actually, they've been within the last 10 years. 11-12 has to be up there. You know, Aguero. Yeah. Of course, at the end with Man United, look on Alex Ferguson's face when he found out. That was a quality season, even though it involved a certain team from South Wales being in the Prem for the first time in Brendan Rodgers, but we won't mention that any further. 15-16's on there as well, mainly because of Leicester, the fairy tale story. I really can't miss that out, to be honest. That was a phenomenal season, full of surprises, and of course the worst title defence in Premier League history. Even though, I'm not exactly saying that football was made in 1992, but yeah, it's got to be one of the worst title defences of all time by Chelsea, even though there are many more out there from prior. And then another one that's got to be up there is 18-19. Well, might be biased because Cardiff are in there, but either way, it was a great season. Came down to the last day.
Even though Cardiff got relegated, that's one of your favourites, yeah?
Yeah, even though Cardiff got relegated, but came down to the last day for the title. You had Cardiff beating Man United on the last day, with Man City winning at Old Trafford, with Man City winning the title as well. Loads of shocks that season, loads of sadness as well. It was just a season that had absolutely everything in it, and one that we won't ever forget, I don't think. So yeah, that's my 3.
Yeah, my 3. The Leicester 2015-2016.
That's got to be on everyone's list.
Because it wasn't the big boys winning the league. It was a phenomenal season. I know all the way through the season, Leicester, they're still there. And I know the bookies would say they still weren't favourites going into those last couple of months. And then they won it in the end, and they totally deserved it. The 2018-2019 season, even though Cardiff got relegated, thoroughly enjoyed all the way through, apart from, some of the defeats. But Cardiff put up a great fight. But I think probably my favourite, looking back at it, it was a classic. It was the 1995-1996. So many superb players. I think Man United won the title. I think it was with the likes of Beckham and the Nevilles, the Giggses, and all this
Roy
thing.
Keane,
all that sort of thing. There were some superb players in the Premier League, the likes of David Ginola, for
Dennis Bergkamp as well.
Dennis Bergkamp, and Faustino Asprilla, the Colombia player who played for Newcastle. He was amazing. One of my favourite players who've graced the Premier League. Absolutely fantastic. He was so unorthodox. You didn't know what he was going to do next. I don't think he knew what he was going to do next, but absolutely phenomenal player. So, brilliant campaign that one was. That's 1995, 1996. For me, next up from No You is, what's your thoughts on Brighton?
Great side, as you know.
Really? Yeah.
Well, this season, great side, improved a lot and changed a lot under Potter as well. But, well, ever since they've been in the Prem, haven't been too impressed by them, really. Just, I feel when they first came to the Prem, their squad was more Championship than Prem. Houghton did a good job at them getting up, and then they survived, obviously, by the skin of their teeth in 18-19. And you know our opinions on that one, especially with the refereeing and the way that the season ended as well. But have massively turned a leaf under Graham Potter, really starting to invest in the squad, bringing in some great players. Mopé is one of the best signings I've ever seen for them. Lallana coming in as well. Veltman from Ajax is insane at the back, him partnering up with Lewis Dunk as well. Trossard's another good one on the list. So improving side. I think they'll start to establish into a strong mid to lower table Prem side.
Yeah, well, that's where they've been for the past few seasons. They have played 4 games, winning just the 1, losing 3 games. But just looking at the results so far, has been that 3-1 reverse against Chelsea on the first weekend of the season. They beat Newcastle up at Newcastle, losing narrowly against Manchester United, which they should have won, or at least got a draw. And then coming up against Everton and losing, but Everton are on fire.
They've had a really tough start
at the moment. But Brighton, I can remember them in the 80s. I think they got to the FA Cup final, and all that. I think they were playing at this ground. I can't even remember what the ground was called. Forgive me, viewers, on that. Which I just had a running track around.
Goldstone Ground, wasn't it?
It might have been, yes. But and then they're in the very good stadium at the moment, which creates the Amex, which creates an excellent atmosphere. But if they can, they are bringing in very good players now. Looking stronger. I can't see them going down this season unless they have an absolute catastrophe. Potter's doing a good job there. So pretty good overall. I think the next couple of seasons is going to be very interesting. See if they can move up the table a little bit more. And the last but one question, Nathan, from David, who's a regular contributor to the predictions. And David asks, who do you think is the most underrated player in the world and then the Premier League?
In the world, there's a few. Ansu Fati, especially with the way he's been playing this year. Mbappe's definitely got to be up there.
Underrated?
I'd say he's definitely...
He's on the cover of FIFA this year,
I know he's on the cover of FIFA, but he is still a little bit underrated.
Wow.
I reckon he could win quite a few Ballon d'Ors coming up. I also think that Lewandowski definitely doesn't get enough recognition that he deserves, along with Thomas Muller as well. The way he fits into quite a few Bayern players.
I think Muller maybe more than Lewandowski, because Lewandowski does seem to get the headlines a lot over there, but
Muller influences
he sort of makes them tick in that sort of attacking third, doesn't he?
He doesn't have a position either. He's what they call a Rodeminter as well, or how they call it, but where he just slots in wherever you need him and gets the goals, assists. He does the lot. He's such a good player. But Premier League wise, probably go for a Jamie Vardy or a Danny Ings. Vardy doesn't get enough recognition, or Ings, the way sort of Ings had to leave Liverpool. He had a tough time there, but Southampton's the club for him especially, and he did grow up around the South Coast, so it's a really good fit as well.
I think with Vardy as well, he came in from non-league, and how he worked himself up the divisions, and you see the old videos when he was playing for non-league teams.
He had an ankle tag on his ankle, and he had to go home at half time to fit his curfew, playing for Fleetwood. And I remember watching that game when It was unbelievable because Fleetwood were this non-league team north of Blackpool, and then Blackpool had just been in the Prem a few years, and they were meeting for the first time in, well, decades, I think it was. And then it's unreal to see now that Fleetwood are in went into a higher division than Blackpool.
Yeah.
Even in the city that they share, don't they? It's ridiculous to think, but yeah. Then you had Leicester as well picking him up for a steal. I think it was 2-3 million from.
I think Cardiff were after him as well.
Yeah, Cardiff were one of the favourites to get him. Still can't believe we couldn't get the deal over the line. Unreal in the Championship, and then he had that Premier League season where he broke records and did all sorts. So yeah, Vardy unreal.
For me, across the world, there's so many to choose from. I'm research on every single country, like sort of Australian leagues and the Philippines and all this. But I'm going to go for either Aaron Ramsey.
Aaron Ramsey underrated, yeah.
Definitely, if he was
with Bale as well, he's definitely.
If
underrated.
Ramsey were English, he'd be on another stratosphere, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Aaron Ramsey for Juve, and also I really like Marco Verratti as well for PSG, sort of midfielder who makes them sick. So he doesn't get enough recognition for me. In the Premier League, I think Son is phenomenal. I don't think he's on, stats wise he's doing amazing this season. Okay, maybe he's getting recognition, but I think he could be pushed up there a little bit more onto the likes of Kane. It takes all the plaudits, but I think Son's fantastic at the moment. And Ndidi from Leicester as well, another one, sort of defensive midfielder, slotting in as centre back as well, so absolutely phenomenal player. And Wijnaldum at Liverpool, the likes of Salah, Mane, Firmino, Van Dijk, Alexander-Arnold, they always get the headlines. But I think Wijnaldum, last season, amazing. There is one more question, and that is
bit of a random one. This
Matt
one.
CCFC. Thoughts on Jake Moon and Sean Slater? I think these are characters from EastEnders. Not sure how good they are at playing football. Maybe they're tough tackling fullbacks.
But yeah, we don't watch soaps or really TV in general.
Well, I watch TV, but I don't watch the soaps. But that concludes our Q&A. Thank you for everybody who's asked questions, and thank you everyone else for watching the video as well. Thanks to everybody who comments and who subscribed in these past few weeks, because subscriptions have gone up, so thank you very much for that. So Nathan,
also remember to comment on the community post as well. We are doing a week-long, I imagine, poll on memberships. Make sure you do it, guys. We'll
put that up in the next few days. But for now, Nathan, is there anything else you'd like to add before we go?
So to my channel, link in description below. There are 2 live streams this week. I'm not sure if this is out by Thursday, but Wales-England live stream, of course, tomorrow. Make sure you're there. And on Sunday as well for Wales versus Republic of Ireland. There will be a stream on my channel.
Massive match.
Link in description below. Huge game.
Fantastic. Yep, as always, thanks for watching, guys. Remember, next week the prediction show will be back, probably on Wednesday evening again, or early Thursday morning, so watch out for that. Turn on your notification bell.
And also add into that as well, with the way things are with the NBA as well, I believe 3-1 Lakers at the moment. Then the review of the NBA predictions could very well be out next week, depending on the results.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I've been watching the NBA, but I really need to focus a lot more on it as well, and learn all the players' names. I think.
And then you got the NFL predictions that we did a few years back. That is returning as well for the playoffs.
Hopefully, yeah. But for now, we'll bid you farewell, and we'll see you in the next video next week.
Cheers, guys.